Warming up is important. And in this lesson, I'm going to teach you the exercise, the left hand warm-up, that a lot of guitarists agree is the best one to do if you only have time for one exercise to warm up with. Warming up is super important. I want to teach you this exercise, but I also just want to say while I have the opportunity, you should always warm up, even if you don't feel like you need it. There's so many benefits to it. It's just like if you were an athlete, you wouldn't dream of playing a game, doing a workout without warming up a little bit first. So even if you feel invincible right now, you're not, and getting in the habit of warming up before playing is a really important habit to start ingraining. So as you play longer, we're going for longevity and sustainability. If we really love music and love playing, start doing it now and it will pay off later. So always warm up and always do just a little something, at least that in your mind you're thinking, all right, this is my warm-up time. I'm getting into it. So not only is it safer and important for that reason, but also it really does help with, by the time you get into something you really want to work on or play, you're actually warmed up. You actually feel like your playing is at a higher level. So there's not as much kind of battle or feeling discouraged about, why do I suck right now? A lot of times we kind of remember how we sounded at our best at the end of a last practice session, kind of feeling it and enjoying it and being inspired. And you sit down later and are like, ugh, everything feels like Butterfingers. And then, of course, you get warmed up into it. So just officially have that warm-up time. I had a teacher in college who said, your first 20 minutes of playing is when you're allowed to sound horrible. And that was really helpful at the time, because you do kind of got to get through that first phase of playing to be like, oh yeah, there I am. Now I'm getting warmed up. So you don't have to warm up for 20 minutes. That's why I'm making this video, this one exercise if you don't have much time. Because I know a lot of you want to practice, and if you have 10 minutes, that's great. You can get quality practice in, but do at least one warm-up exercise. This is a great one for the left hand. And I say a lot of guitarists agree because Scott Tennant, in his book, Pumping Nylon, also agrees, and this is a very popular classical guitar technique book that is widely used. Really great exercises in there, and actually this exercise is a variation of that. It's not the exact thing, it's kind of my take on it, and a version of it that I think is the most helpful. So let's go into the details. So I'll give you this exercise in a couple different levels too. So if you're just a beginner, I'll have you do it one way, and if you are a more experienced player, then I will recommend doing it in a different way. So I just call this exercise the triplet slurs exercise, and I don't know what other people call it, but we literally are playing triplets with slurs. And it doesn't have to be triplets, but it's groupings of 3 notes. So we're going to do groupings of 3 notes with every finger combination, every combination of 2 fingers on the left hand and on every string. It's going to be a really good workout. And slurs can be super hard, so I'm going to give you also a version you can do without slurs, but here's how the exercise goes. I'm going to 5th fret position here. You can do it anywhere. I actually don't switch positions for this, just whatever position. If you're in one position for it, then you can just do it there, okay? So it's going to start with the first finger, and we're going to do every combination of fingers that starting with the first finger, and then we'll do every combination starting with the middle finger, every combination starting with the third. You'll see what I mean. So I have it written out for you, but only with the first 2 fingers, because the rest is just the exact same thing with the other finger combinations. So the fingering itself is 1, 2, 1, and then the next string is 2, 1, 2, because you have a free finger. So you go to the next string with the free finger, and then you have 1, 2, 1 again. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, if I do it in time. And I'm not even slurring yet on purpose, okay? And if you are less experienced, if slurring is hard, this is actually the version I want you to practice, and we'll add the slurs in a second. Slurring is hammer on and pull off, where you actually don't re-articulate with the left hand, okay? So after that grouping of 3 strings, we come back a string and do the next 3 strings. And then back a string, next 3 strings. Okay, and I have that tabbed out for you so you can see that. I'll do that again. Nice and slow if you need to, for sure. So once you're up here, then we start on the first finger again and we come back down. up a string. It's kind of weird to do it all picking because I'm used to slurring it. So I'll do the slur example now. Okay, went slower. I want it to be clean. I'm not concerned about doing it with a metronome or anything because I want to actually, depending on the fingers that I switch to, I'll do it slower or faster depending on how that's feeling. When you get to fingers 3 and 4, you'll feel how crazy hard that is. And I recommend, I really emphasize this, that you don't just do them all at the same pace with a metronome because you'll benefit from slowing down and being more controlled and paying more attention to how it's sounding and how your pull-off and your hammer-ons are actually being executed with certain finger combinations, and other ones will feel easier to do. So I'll do this again. Hammer-on, pull-off, next string. Pull-off, hammer-on, next string. Hammer-on, pull-off. Okay, back a string. Pull-off, hammer-on, next string. Hammer-on, pull-off. It feels so good. I don't feel warmed up until I do this exercise. So next finger combination, 1 and 3, okay? Again, notice how I kind of let the pacing slow down and speed up. It's great to do it at a pacing too, like be, you know, in time, but you can flex that time. You can fluctuate it based on how you feel. So I'll slow down sometimes if I want to like make sure, oh, let me make sure I'm really getting it clean, and I'll speed up again if I want to when I feel like I have more control over it. This is not bad for your time at all, and I'll talk more about using a metronome and working on time. When we work on our time, we want to do that separately as its own exercise, and we can feel confident that like, cool, we have a good sense of time, we know how to play in time and all of that, and have precision in timing. So when we're doing something like this, it's not about the timing, it's about our conditioning and taking it easy and really feeling like we're getting warmed up and not just doing it at a strict pace. Next finger, 1 and 4, next finger combo. So the 4 is gonna feel like it needs a little, might need to slow down a little bit for that. Again, if you're not comfortable with the slurs, or if it's causing some physical issues, because it can if you're not used to it, just get used to this with just picking. Or fingers too, right? So if you're a finger style, this is, I mean, like I said, this is from a classical guitar book that I was originally introduced to it, and then I turned it into this over many years. That's 1 and 4. Okay, moving on to other finger combos. Now we're going to do all the combinations starting on 2. So we'll do 2 to 1, 2 to 3, 2 to 4. Okay, so here's 2 to 1. It's the same 2 fingers, but it flips where you play which one first. Getting those hammer-ons and pull-offs to sound clean can really take a while, so nice and slow if you need to. Sometimes I'll work on keeping my pinky closer. Right now I'm just letting it kind of do what it does. See, with these 2 fingers, it really starts kind of doing its own thing. So if I wanted to control that, I would focus on that separately, keeping it close. But here we are, 2 to 3. Fingers 2 to 3. This one's tough. if I don't do this before playing, it doesn't, I feel super rusty. So it's really great. And if I take a break, if I don't, I can warm up and play and practice. If I even wait like an hour and come back, I'll feel like I need to kind of warm up again. So let's do 2 to 4. So getting that 4 accurate is hard, as you can see there. Taking it nice and slow, whatever I need to. Every finger combo is getting a workout. I got messed up there because I was talking while I did it. Let's switch on to 3 and 1. Speeding up a little bit just to demonstrate through. 3 to 2. Slowing down a little just to get it clean. You can hear the triplets there. Triplet, 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 triplet. Okay, 3 to 4. And again, it doesn't have to be triplets. You could do this in 4/4 time, and it's just 3/4, kind of like a polyrhythm. But I'm feeling it in triplets right now. Real slow on 3 to 4 fingers. That is such a great workout. Okay, that was 3 to 4. Let's do 4 to 1. Okay, let's do 4 to 2. Really feeling that one. And 4 to 3. Real slow. Hardest one last. Just happens to be when you do it in this order. That's all of them. And it's quite a bit harder on a steel string acoustic guitar. I often am warming up on my Telecaster that I often play, but I'm just here with the acoustic now and wanted to show you on this guitar, but I do it on the classical guitar, electric guitar, whatever. Works on every guitar, any style, doesn't matter. Just amazing left hand warm up. And not just a warm-up, but a technique exercise. So I often think of, when we're working on a certain technique, we're really practicing that technique, and it's an exercise. Once we get used to doing it, it kind of becomes a warm-up, right? So once you can feel confident about, I've learned how to do this, now I use it to warm up. So at first, you might need to treat it as actually practicing. Be very careful, though, do this, especially if you start doing the slurs and not just the picking version or plucking version. Be very careful because it is demanding, and it can really conditions the muscles in the hand and the arm. So do not overdo it. Really take breaks. Work on a little bit of it, and if you feel like, wow, that is really working the hand, just do little bits at a time. And maybe one finger combo or something like that. So if you're feeling good about it, though, trust yourself. If you're feeling great, then go ahead and work on it and work towards using that as your warm-up. So again, this is considered a warm-up. That is just great if you only have time for one warm-up, especially just specifically for the left hand. Though if you are plucking each note, it can feel good to get a little bit of right hand accuracy going as well. But I hope you found that useful. I use this exact exercise every single time I warm up, and I do several other things, but if I am stressed on time, I make sure to at least do that one. And once you get used to it, just takes a couple minutes or so, and then you can get into whatever you're working on. So leave me in the comments. Let me know, have you heard of this exercise, or what's one that you use? Do you warm up? Do you need to warm up? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. Is there an exercise or a warm up that you really love and rely on? I would love to learn from you and hear about what you're working on as well. Until next time, I hope to see you in another lesson soon, and happy practicing.